I'll show you how to alter sleeve length of a dress shirt. Yeah, keep watching. So what I did was I got my favorite shirt over there that has sleeve length that I really like, and then I traced with the tailor's chalk exactly where I want the sleeve to end. If you can see that blue line there with the chalk line, and I used the seam ripper to take off the old or the original cuff and the button piece and the mid piece that attaches here to the middle piece where the cuff slit actually is, and that's where the button goes into this piece. And basically you just re-sandwich all the original pieces back into the original cuff and button slit and re-stitch it, of course, with a sewing machine after cutting off the piece that you no longer need, which is for me about 11 centimeters. Yeah, 11 centimeters. And yep, this is a men's large Merona dress shirt. Luckily I got it on clearance for $8.98. Used to be $30, and it's a really nice shirt. The sleeves were just way too long for me. I don't know, they just make sleeves really long. And yep, so that's part one. Okay, so now I'm sewing back on the button slits for the dress shirt. I'm putting down the piece with the button first, and I already sewed in place the top slit, which has the buttonhole slit, but I didn't close it up yet where the slit in the actual fabric is. That's where I'm going to close it up last. But yeah, so I'm going to go follow the original stitch and go straight down, and then once I get to the two pieces where they conjoin, I will have the finishing top piece, the top slit, cover this this extra fabric right here. That is the piece that holds the button. So this is the part that I'm talking about right here, right there. And so right now on the other piece I am sewing in this straight stitch right here. So, and then later I will put this top portion over and sew it exactly like this so that it looks finished. Then I will add the cuff here and sandwich it between the material. If you are using a white shirt or a light colored shirt, then it's good to have this blue colored tailor's chalk. Okay, stay tuned. This is shortening the sleeves of a men's dress shirt. So this part right here is a little bit tricky, so I'm using a pin to hold the top slit in place. Right here. and then the straight stitch across is going to go right across here, and I'm going to mark it with the chalk so that I know exactly where that stitch should lie, right there. Okay, so now that I re-stitched on the top slit and the bottom slit and created this this wedge on the top slit piece, and everything's all sealed up, as you can see. Now I can move on to sandwiching the end of this cuff inside the original cuff, and then do a straight stitch down this line all the way around till I reach this part. But of course, obviously, the sleeve is bigger than the cuff, so I'm gonna have to miter. I don't know if that's really the word for this, but I'm gonna have to miter the piece over like that to fold over, and the piece, or I call it the wave, that folds over will always be towards the inner piece where it is closest to. For example, this wave or mitered fold over piece is closer to this opening, so the wave will conform this way, not the opposite way. So same as this one, when I fold over the piece, it's gonna fold over this way to accommodate the smaller cuff size. And of course, this all takes a while, and it's a little bit late at night, so have a sip of beer and make sure you have fun while you're sewing. Always have fun. Stay tuned. Okay, so basically here is the done sleeve. That is done. I just have to sew on the slit button back on here, and it will be totally done. But look at the length difference. Look at that. Ends at my wrist, ends way beyond my hand, and it's closed. This is also closed, and if you're wearing a bracelet or a watch, you can actually see it without any problems and without having to cuff up your nice cuff there. But okay, on to the next one. So I forgot to add that this is how you do the seam ripper. It's going to demonstrate a little bit of it. So basically you just stick the seam ripper between the seam and the material of the cuff, and you kind of wiggle it at first, but you basically find that joint where the material is, or not, yeah, between the material here, right there. And then it should not be that difficult. I mean, you shouldn't have to add that much force to it if you're in the correct spot of the seam, where the seam ripper is most effective. And because you're shortening the sleeve, you don't have to really worry about being too perfect with it, because you're not going to use this material that will all be cut away. So yeah, and then you seam rip it all the way, and this cuff will detach just like that. Voila. So what I did differently with the second cuff from the first cuff was so I didn't fully detach these two pieces. I left the middle stitch on it, as you can see right here, so that these two pieces would still be perfectly aligned after removing just the edgings of it. I left this middle stitch, so yeah. So then, of course, I left a little bit of this ending piece extended, and then see where that line is, where that stitch is? That's how long you cut the slit, the brand new slit, after you remove the unwanted length in your sleeve. You measure to that line right there with your tailor's chalk and make that slit right there, and then you can slip in the unfinished fabric into here and here on the opposite side, and then do your brand new straight stitch there all along the edge and come straight back up, and then it's easier to align everything. Not like I did for the first half, but that was my mistake. Don't make that mistake when you do yours, and you'll have a much easier time. So now for the finishing touches. Let me turn on the light here. So that was much easier, and it looks a lot cleaner than my first sleeve that I did. What I did was I started from the top slit and worked my way down with a straight stitch all the way till this point, and then I stopped, and then I lined up the second half, the underneath part, and I did a straight stitch all the way down till that point over here, and then I placed a pin down here at the point of the triangle, and at that point I started from here and did a straight stitch this way, and then pin the needle in there, turned the fabric and went down and followed the edge all the way back up here, and that was the finished line. This part here I have to redo. I slightly missed the fabric, so I'm just gonna go over that again on this side, the inside outside, and make sure I catch that spot just to do a touch up. And it looks like this side is all good. Always double check your work. before you put on the final cuff piece. That way you make it easier to do touch-ups. Here it is. This is the finished product. I just have to hand stitch the last slit button on both sides, and I'm totally done. So hopefully this tutorial helped you. Everyone's arm length is